Hi, my name is Brian Hoyland, and I am. Oh, hold on one second. I have dogs, so I have real life. I I'm with the Psychology of Heaven with T.S. Dismas, and today I'm with Anet, my friend, who I've met through previously doing a near-death experience interview with. Anet runs a YouTube channel, and it's called Life Changing Moments with Anet. She's a mother of three, a housewife, and she's here to tell her story, which actually is so amazing, and I'm excited for everyone to hear it. But it's got so much reality and help to it that I'm just really excited for the message you're bringing to people. Thank you for being here, Matt.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and blessed to be on your podcast, Brian. Thank you so much. A heartfelt thank you for inviting me.
Oh, my pleasure to have you. You're so much fun to talk to. I just can't wait for everybody to hear your story.
Yeah, I just have to warn the viewers that I have this short-term memory loss. So I have like my mobile in front of me. If ever I forget something, I can just look at it, because it's very important for me to be able to tell everyone, my message, and that it should be delivered well. So that is very important.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize already.
No, that's okay.
Okay, should I start?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all yours.
Okay, I'm gonna start with my background. I have to put the camera, sorry. So this is very, genuine interview. We can be ourselves. So I was born in the Philippines and raised as a Roman Catholic. My parents got divorced when I was 5 years old, and me and my siblings went to Switzerland to live with my mom. So my life before, I would say, was a mess. I have been through a lot of things in life that left me so injured of my brokenness, and in some instance led me to suicidal thoughts. Way back in my youthful years, I've already experienced a lot of abuses, all kinds of abuses. So name it, I experienced that. And it continues and carried on till I got married, resulting in childhood traumas, anxiety, depression, and of course, the fear of dying. So ever since, I was a believer of God, but not to the extent that I gave my full 100% trust in Him. And, I've been praying a lot because I'm a Catholic. I prayed a lot, and I have the feeling He was not listening to me. Just the feeling, and they were not heard, and I started to doubt God's existence. Not until 2020, when I got so tired of fighting against the hardships of life, that I surrendered my life to God 100% and made God the captain of my life. And that's when miracle happens in 2021. He took my fears away, the depression, anxiety, almost everything. He even changed the people surrounding me. He even changed my way of thinking. It was just for me a miracle, He gave my marriage back, that was not so okay for a long time. And and I was very happy about this. And during this time, 2021, I did a lot of research about life after, on topic of life after death, because I was more interested on that. And then the more I gained knowledge about it, the more I really the less I got fearful of dying, because hearing your stories, and not only hearing interviews, I also read books and all those things, because this thing is very interesting. And as a Catholic, we don't really believe there is life after death, but it's more like, like nobody went to heaven yet, something like that. So that's when I started thinking of creating my YouTube channel, because the first thing, the initial thing that I thought right away is to help. I have been that before, scared of dying, depression, and all those things, a lot of uncertainties, what comes after life, and so I made these life-changing moments with Anet, and where I interview near-death experience survivors. But not only that, also people who has a life-changing experience, that changed them in a good way. So and to help people with coping with their griefs, griefs caused by losing someone or any kinds of griefs, and also telling people that there is God, there is this higher being, and also people not knowing how it is after death, so they know now that there is life after death, that death is not the end, but the doorway to infinity. So that is very interesting. And yes, and I am very satisfied with my channel. It's more like, if I can touch a soul back to God, then that completes my mission here. That completes my mission here on earth. So it's not about that you have so many subscribers, you get the famous. No, it's not about that. This is pure from my heart that I did this YouTube channel. So it's nice. And not only that, meeting people with beautiful souls, that is one, I think, the nicest part of this,
Yeah.
that I'm not alone in my journey. There are also people like you, experiencing God.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that I said everything. And also about, I just want to raise awareness on suicidal. In our society now, we hear a lot of people taking their own lives like this. So I just want, I'm here, I've experienced that, and it's not easy, because nobody really took me serious as a, because they see, okay, Anet is very, very happy, very jolly, very, but nobody really asked me how I really felt from the inside, And to be honest, I am an extroverted person. I like talking to people, So how much more people who are introverted, I think we need to be more compassionate on those people who maybe it can be a family or a friend, and we have to listen to them and take our time, not just like, oh yeah, okay, depression is different. I must say, we get, all of us get sometimes sad, and that feeling of sadness is quite different. Now I can differentiate now, because I know before, my mom had depression before, and she said, oh, I feel bad and like this, and I said, yeah, why you feel bad? We are here, your children. And she said, yeah, it's different. And now, and I did not understand her before. I was just like, hey, I'm not getting it. And now I understand, because I feel that now. It's a feeling of sadness that you don't know where it's coming from. And I think when you are in a situation that you have so many problems, you know, it's piling,
Yeah.
then it's like, how do you call it? It's like a jar you fill with water and then it overflows
Mhm.
and you cannot control it anymore. So that is very important, that you have to talk with that person and really sit down, leave everything you have, because that can be very, you know, your conversation can be helpful for that person. And when you have talked with that person, please call for or search for help. That is very important. These people like psychiatrists and doctors, they are there, they are well trained for this. So it doesn't mean that if you're going to the doctor, you think, oh, people will think that I'm crazy, because you're not crazy. And it is unfortunately, it's a mental illness, and it's caused by many factors. Mine was more like the problems I had as a childhood, um, and I tried to talk with people that have caused me those abuses,
Mhm.
but they were like, no, they don't want to talk about it. So I could not go on with my life. Only that since I have my awakening not yet so long ago, I don't have depression anymore, because God healed me, you know, my faith in God, he healed me. And I've always believed in miracle, but you know, saying like you believe in miracle, yeah, okay, but it's not really the sense of believing, the word believing. And when God saw that in my heart, he can see through our heart, you know, and God is always here with us. God is always here. We just don't, we are so caught up with many things, you know, earthly things, that we forget God is in our hearts,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So what did I want to say now? Now you see I am forgetting everything. So with God's help, I could fight my depression. Actually, it was more like, it was just like this. I know it's like, it sounds, that's why it's called miracle, because it's just went like this, you know. The anxiety, I cannot say 100% it's gone. Maybe there's still, you know, we still worry, normal worries, like our children, how to come home, will they be safe?
Right.
That is still there, like 5%, because I would be lying if I would say no, the anxiety is really gone, you know. So I'm just being honest here. Yeah. And yeah, again, with the suicidal thoughts, there are many factors. Also pressure in our society, you know. Social media is very good, but it has also the downside, the disadvantages. What we see on social media, it's like Instagram, you post, you do this, you know, you're showing from the outside, and you don't know what that person from the inside is, you know. So that means your children, my children, will happen to see that. I said, wow, you know, my child said, Mama, I really want to go to these places like this, and I want to go to a yacht and this. I said, yeah, why you say that? Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Their lives are much better than mine. Saying these things, you know, and I say, ooh, be careful with that, you know,
Mhm.
because this is a wrong image. This is not them. There are just like two role. It's like an actor, you know, they have to play this role,
Yeah.
and just to get more maybe subscribers or to be famous. And we have to take care of our children, that they will not how do you say that, that it's not oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
um you know, we parents are good examples, and this should not be good examples for our children that are now growing,
Right.
you know. So there is that social media and bullying on social media, you know, because it's very easy to say on social media, oh, you're not good, or you're not this, like this, because we are far. You cannot just like, you know, like have really
Right.
conversation like this. And that's very dangerous. And Especially when it comes to children. I've been bullied all my life. And to be honest, until even during Corona, and that was very bad during Corona because I am half Chinese and half Filipina. And even though I'm Filipina, you can see on my face that I am Chinese, you know. So the time during the pandemic, and like many people were mean to me
Mm.
because you know, there was like a rumor like that China has something to do with that. And because I was looking Chinese, so they think, you know, they really made fun of me. Or I still remember a group of children, because I was the only one with mask, because of course you hear there's pandemic, and some people, they're very easy with this. They don't really believe easily, you know, that there is really something. So I was already wearing masks way before the others were wearing, and they were like bullying me for that, and small children kicking me because they also think maybe I'm a child because I'm small. I don't know.
Oh,
So and they made fun of me, you know. So
yeah.
yeah, I was not mad with the children, because I think that it's more the parents, because
Mhm.
the parents were looking. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that? And
Yeah.
did not say anything. So
No.
that is very important for us children, for us parents, to educate our children to be more compassionate, and
Yeah.
especially to tell our children it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
God
this
made you that.
bullying, this
You know.
bullying thing starts from, I think, from the from home.
Hmm.
If you hear your parents saying, oh, you know what, that neighbor, you know, this a bit like this or like that, so the children will hear that, okay, it's okay to say you're fat, it's okay to say you're thin, it's okay you're saying, because I heard that from mom and dad.
Yeah.
And that is something that I was very strict on, you know, raising my kids, because I've been through that, and I have suffered until 2020. And now I am really healed from, you know, those everyone has the right to have their opinion,
Yeah.
you know, everyone. That is a fact, you know.
Hmm.
And but we have the right to ignore that opinion. You have two choices: to dwell on that or
Yeah.
to ignore that, you
Right.
know. And don't make your day sour just because a person said that to you. I was one of that. I was, if someone would just say, oh, Marionette, oh, you have eye bags now, or oh, you gained weight, oh my gosh, I would go home and cry. Yes, because I've always had that feeling that I was different from others, and that's why I was bullied. Because yeah, and more the I was more and more insecure, and I did not believe that I was beautiful. But I still remember as a child, I look in the mirror and I found myself beautiful. I did not understand why children were bullying me, you know. So that is sad.
Hmm. Yeah, but
You
you
can
hit on
say something if you like, huh?
you hit on something really important though. It's you know, we can't control the things that happen around us, because there are going to be people who like those kids, you know, they pick on somebody who is beautiful because they're jealous, or they don't understand how to relate with you because they're feeling insecure, incomplete themselves. And so the best way is to lash out. And you know, we can't control those things, but what we can control is how we react to it. You know, how
Exactly.
we live with it. Because the reality is that, you know, if we take in what everybody else says about us as being true, then we're not valuing what we know to actually be true, because they can't read my mind, they can't know what's going inside of me. So it's all assumptions on their part. It's only true if I make it to be so. And I think it's very easy for us when we're being bullied to close in on ourselves, particularly when we have depression. And you know, something that you said was really important about depression and how it works. And that you said that it feels like, you know, a jar, and it just gets filled up and then it just starts to overflow. And, you know, that reminds me of a story. There was this farmer. He was sleeping in the middle of the night. He was digging this well. And so he, during the day, he had dug out a hole in the well and left the dirt on the side of the well. And then he had a rabbit problem in his farm. So the rabbit fell in there and was making a bunch of noise at night and screaming. And, you know, the farmer couldn't sleep. Here's this whole thing. So he goes out there and he starts to dig the dirt back into the hole, trying to cover the rabbit up, trying to bury it. Well, each time he threw a scoop in, you know, it's covering on top of that rabbit, and the rabbit's afraid. He's like, oh no, I'm going to die. This is going to cover me and I'm going to suffocate and die. So this rabbit starts freaking out, but then he starts shaking and the dirt starts falling off. He's shaking the dirt off of him. And each scoop, he just shakes a little more and he keeps hopping up, and, you know, the dirt keeps going down underneath him. So he just keeps getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
Once he gets close enough to the top, he jumps and runs away, you know, and that's a lesson that we can all learn, is that there are so many problems in life, and how we focus on them and how we give them attention is what's really going to cause us. If we are like that rabbit and we just sit there and focus on this dirt and that, you know, it's covering me, it's a reality. There is dirt and it is on me, but there are other options. I don't have to just sit there like that rabbit. I can shake and I can jump like the rabbit did and then get out of there. And, you know, I know if your story goes on, so I know that, you know, you have done that. You have shaken off the dirt that you had. And sometimes it takes that intervention, you know, it's that connection with God that does this. And, you know, he's always there, but sometimes I think we miss when he intervenes in our lives. I think sometimes we don't see it. Maybe it's because we're focusing on those people throwing dirt on us.
That's what, you know, people will always be throwing dirt on us. Will always be throwing garbage on us. That is being human. But you can always empty your bin. Throw again, here, and I throw back, or not back to them, not back to them, but somewhere else that it doesn't disturb others, you know, because that's what people are doing. If they throw dirt on me, garbage on me, I'm gonna throw it back. You know, I've got hurt this morning, so maybe by my boss, and then I go home, and then my children maybe would ask me something, and my head is like this, and I'm gonna throw things to them just because of that boss that morning, you know. So I think it's very important early in the morning when we wake up, we have two choices before we stand up. Will I choose sadness today, grumpy face, or happy, despite of whatever the day would be? So that kind of attitude, that will help you. And, you know, someone who is very super sensitive like me, I used to be very sensitive, but now with God, no more, because I don't care anymore what people tell me who I am and what I am, because I know myself. I'm remorseful with my sin, because I'm in no means, you know, perfect. I'm far from perfection, but I am really trying my best to be every day to be a better Christian, you know. It's like, you know, there's like this journey. This is like a road, and this road to God, God is our goal, the end. And then you are walking, and then there's so many distractions coming, you know. There will be like a storm like today, or there will be like this rocky roads or whatsoever. And if you just focus yourself on your goal, then you will be, it's not easy, but you will get through that. But if you will be taken from that distraction, then it will take you many years to be there. And that's what I'm doing now, you know. I know it's maybe for people watching, you will say, oh, it's very easy for you to say, but trust me, there is God. And when you give yourself to him, you have to be willing. Brian, I have to make this very clear. They have to be willing to give themselves. Open your heart. Because God sees that already, you know. But how can God be giving you what you want when your heart is closed for him? So try to open it. I'm one of this example person. I really thought I was living in God's love. God's, I thought I was good. I really thought I was good and I am saved, like this. But it's different to pray and to have a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
Like surrendering your life to him 100%. That's a personal relationship to God, because you're trusting him,
Yeah.
your future, your family. In late 2020, when I gave myself to God, I talked to God. I said, God, I will accept already in advance what you will do to my life. If I will lose my children in any way, I lose my husband in any way, already in advance, I will accept it. I may not know I may not understand at that moment, or may never understand, but
Right.
I know that you have a purpose for that, for
Yeah.
me to learn or whatsoever. But there is a purpose, and I know that we will see each other in heaven again. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying, and you had said too about our choices and choosing, even when we wake up, whether we're going to have a good day or a bad day. There's so much truth to that, because right when I wake up, if I start thinking about all those distractions that you were talking about, if I start thinking about all of those things the first thing in the morning, well, I've already set the pattern for my day. My day is dependent on how those turn out. If they're not already in a bad situation, it's already a bad day then. If I take the time though, and this is what I do personally, I wake up every day and I smile, because guess what? I'm still alive. So to me,
oh,
that's a reality that I understand, I think maybe better than a lot of people. But I really do appreciate it. So I smile and I immediately thank Jesus. I say good morning and I say thank you to him. And just that I love him, because I know whatever I'm going to do for the rest of that day has been a gift that he's given me, that extra day to have that time to do whatever it is. So there is a purpose there. And I've realized that my purpose is something that I have to do the little steps. I can't sit there and say, well, I think this is what my purpose is, so I gotta have this now. If my purpose is to run a small country, well, I gotta do the little steps in order to run the small country. I gotta get elected, or all the little things I have to do. I can't just expect to walk in there and start running the show. And the same thing is true with anything else we have to do in life. Just going to the office, I can't expect to be at the office. I have to get in the car and I have to drive there, and I have to do all these things. And yet I think a lot of times people will wake up and say, well, my day is horrible because my goals aren't being accomplished, but they haven't done those little things to get there. And that first little thing is to really set your day in the right path. Thank you, God. Thank you for this extra day for me to have the time to go and accomplish these things that I want to accomplish. And, and really to give thanks to him. It's for you. I'm doing this for God,
exactly.
and because if we're doing it for ourselves, it just doesn't work. When I came back, what you said about the distractions is so real, is that I had no distractions when I was in heaven, but as soon as I came back into my body, I was like, I can't breathe, I'm in the hospital again. Am I gonna die? I mean, all these things come into, and they're real pressures. They're real things that you have to deal with. You can't just totally ignore them. But the reality is we have to have an understanding that, do I trust in God? Do I trust that the fact that I'm still alive right now, he has something for me? I don't know what it is, but I don't need to know what it is. It's kind of the fun of life is figuring out, why I was born. It was important that I was born, but it's also important that I figure out why. And that's kind of the beauty of life, is figuring out why God made me. Why did he make me different? Like you had described, we are different.
We are, yes, everyone is children of God, and yet unique in our own ways. That's why. So I think, I always thought that each person is beautiful, regardless of our gender or color, and we are all equal. I cannot say, oh yeah, God doesn't love you because you are that religion. Oh, God doesn't, we are all one love, one soul from God, like God, and then we are cells, the small cells, we are all those things. And I have the feeling religion disunite us. We are one unity, oneness. And then because of religion, one says, oh, my God is better. Oh, the other one says, yeah, my God is better. But and how do you say that? This unify us, disunite us. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
Good.
And I don't get that when and no, not I don't get. It's sad because our goal is all the same, to be nearer to that God. And there's only one God. Maybe just for me, I think, oh my God, but this is just one God. So in that case, religion can be dangerous in that sense, So, but for me, doesn't matter, I've always been a person like that, even before, and now even yeah, it's like,
Yeah. You just want to
Yeah.
show love to people, and
sorry.
you just want to show love to people. You want to be kind.
Yes. I interviewed someone, and I am, for the first time, I'm editing. This is my first video that I've been editing, and it will go out. So it will be aired soon. And I will not forget what she says. She said, in every question there is on earth, love is the answer. So this is very powerful, because people should know, it's all about love.
Yeah.
We are here on earth to experience love, It's like someone has told me, it's like driving, like, already how love is, but you need, we know how to drive, we know theory, but we need to do the practical to be able to do it and feel that,
Right.
So I've learned so many things through my interviews too, through my research. And I don't think this is God's will. This is God's will. I never thought that I would be doing such thing. First of all, I'm not a technical person. I am learning, and I am more to the fashion thing. But when God wants it, when it's His will, no matter how much you want that, because I was praying like that before, like, in Jesus' name, I want this, I claim, and like this. And I'm like, so many years? Why God is not listening? And then you get disappointed. And then you started to challenge God. Oh God, are you really there? Are you true? Like this. I was like that. I'm ashamed now, but I asked forgiveness already to God before. I was very remorseful for everything that I did that hurt God, But when it's His will, it will be done. And He works in His time, not our time, So all my prayers that I've been praying before, that was my will. But then I opened my heart. Remember when I said I opened my heart, I gave my 100%. God said, now you have it. Because I can see now. But before, Anet, your heart was 90% open, not really 100%. And this is a big difference, Brian. I just want the viewers to know that this is a big difference. When you say 100% trust, you don't only talk. You show it in your action. Before, I was like this. I suffered from hypochondria. I felt something, right away to the doctor, and like, telling everyone goodbye, I'm gonna die, or like this. I was really extreme. And now, so I was praying then, like, God heal me, and I'm the healed of the Lord, like this. But when I felt something, I ran right away, and I cried, and I, panic attack. But now I feel something. I am not like, okay, it can be something, it can be nothing, but I'm not gonna be scared anymore, because for what? You don't know yet what it will be. And if there is really something, God he promised me eternal life. I am healed already. Already that thought, believing in God, I am healed.
Yeah.
The
it's
doctor
interesting.
will tell you something else. I said, okay, you say that, doctor, but my God says different.
That's
You,
right.
you know?
Right.
So that is having faith. Or
Yeah.
not.
Especially when, you had the history of trauma, and, that does make people more sensitive to pain. So that's a real connection. And I think, doctors, they often will miss this, because sometimes you'll get a doctor who will throw a bunch of medications at you, or you'll get a doctor who will say, you know what, there's nothing wrong with you, just go home,
Yeah.
or there even some who will acknowledge, yeah, you're depressed, but they don't try to really help you to get to the root of the problem, because the root is that trauma has to be healed. And it's not until God gets in there and until we can trust him, especially with trauma. Trauma is a really hard thing to trust anybody with. I mean, even the people who are closest to us, we keep them away because that trauma is so sensitive and it hurts so much. But when we let God in there and he heals it, it does make us a new person. And it gives us strength and courage, because the hurt is still there and we can feel it. We can see it. We know it's still there. It's just, it is unable to touch us in the same way, because we now have this connection with God. We're actually holding on to him in a way that provides strength to us, and it prevents that trauma from hurting us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just a miracle. God has healed me, and it's from God. And I did nothing. To be honest. I just sit back and watch how he showed his wonders. And it's like blessings to blessings to blessings to blessings. And the way I think he changed that. Can you imagine? I was the most pessimist person ever, to myself, not to others. I was always like, self-pity. Oh, I'm not good. I'm not this. How can I say that we are children of God? We are good. We are all unique, good and unique, and yet unique from each other, So this is
when
okay.
when you started having suicidal thoughts, how long did that last?
It was like in 2018 was very bad, 2017.
Yeah.
And I still remember there was a woman I used to walk, and there was a woman, because I'm very, I would not care to tell my story, because I'm here alone in the Netherlands. I don't have family. I don't really have friends as well, because I'm really a mother, like only at home. I don't like going out, so everyone is different. So I'm like that. And so all my problems already from the childhood has not been treated. And then my youthful years, and then my marriage years, and this and like this. And it added, when I came here, I thought I will have a new life and nice, and I was very positive about it, and it went totally the wrong way. So I was just like, very depressive. And the woman said, oh, you should be careful, woman, because she's a girl. She said to me, girl, because when you are dwelling in so long in your problems, it will come out like, like into depression, like really depression. And then, and she was right. And I don't know, maybe God also wanted me to feel how my mom felt. And because of that, I never got along well with my mom. And we have our issues. And now it's like, oh my gosh, everything comes into light. Like, okay, now I know why mom was acting strange. And, God makes something like he works in a very unexpected ways, for us to learn lessons, even from the lowest time of our lives. I am now trying, from everything that I experienced bad, I am taking the good from that, and that is not Marionette before.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I can say I'm a living miracle. I mean, I'm a living testimony, that there is God. And
Right.
people cannot believe, like, oh my gosh, Marionette changed and this and that. If you knew me before, you will say, oh, I'm in the wrong address here.
Yeah.
Really. So
Yeah.
that's why I
I'm
thought I need to share this.
Yes, I'm so happy you did, because I'm with you on that. I think that when I look at my life and I see all the changes that have happened just because of this experience with God. And he was there the whole time for this change to happen, but it took something drastic for me to be open, for me to do what you said, to really fully trust him, and to just give myself to him, because I was giving pieces at a time. You know what? I'll give you this, God. I'll give you that. But I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not sure I'm really ready to give up my pride. I want to want
I
to still have
understand.
my self-respect, and I don't want
Yeah,
people to talk to me.
yeah,
It's when we finally decide to give up everything and say, you know what? I really don't care what anyone else thinks. I care about what God thinks. And when I do that, I start to find, wow, there's a lot of good people like you and other people that I have met through this journey, and they're kind and they're warm and they're loving. And guess what? They're connected to God.
yeah.
So for me, it's a pretty simple solution. I just find people that are connected to God, and I know I'm going to have a much better relationship, because there's not going to be the conflict that's inevitably going to come up when two people have conflicting ideas of what's important and what's valuable, because
Yeah.
life will do that. And then we have this huge conflict that causes us to have a break. Why have that in relationships anymore? I look at it as there's nothing that's important to me other than God. So none of us can control God. I don't have to go into it having anything over anyone else or needing something that somebody else has. I go into each relationship now with this openness to who they are, and to just show and share love. And not everybody else wants to do that, but that's fine. I just go on to find somebody else who does, and and just pray for that person that they'll be open to the next opportunity. But at least I'm not
That's so
leaving.
nice, Brian.
Yeah.
That's so nice. I wanted to say something now. I forgot. Yeah, also about, like, the family. We love our families, and that's what I've always been looking for before. Um, my I grew up without parents, actually. I only went to Switzerland when I was 13. So my parents divorced when I was 5. So there was a long time that we were living with aunts, or we were like a ping pong ball, like, like this. And like there was no home, like I can say really home,
Yeah.
or no,
No
my
stability.
stability, no stability. And all my life I've searched for that. I did not know how is that a mom's love, a father's love. Although I know they love me, but a parent should be there, and I did not have that. So all my life I've been searching for that human love. So
Yeah.
I stumbled always in relationship, because I thought, oh, this is now love, and yet it's not. It was not satisfying love. So no wonder so many relationships, like, it didn't work. And I cannot only say it's their fault, but maybe also has something to do with me as well. There's so much expectation and maybe no satisfaction with that love. And I've been always like, I got also depressed by that, because my husband is very cold to me, and does he love me or whatsoever, and I want an affectionate man, and this. So looking your love somewhere else, and you cannot really find that love, different. A love of a child is also different. So what I realized when I had this awakening, it's like, we should base our Are you scared of the storm?
Now, and you asked her to help you with getting that busting out.
Yeah, but I am now in a thing interview shots.
But what does she have to do then?
What did she say then?
Like she's gonna now try to get.
Yeah, she can try it and just put it in the scripture, okay? Because I am here now with
Yeah,
the
but
thing.
there's a script open.
Yeah, it's open. Oh, I'm so sorry. Because of the storm, a neighbor came to get, there's like something to hang outside, and it's connected to the soil, and you can actually get it, and it doesn't work now. And then we were trying to get that because of the storm, not that it will go to the glasses, and there's that woman. So this morning she came, but I did not know that she's also coming again. So anyway, she knows already where to put it. But
Okay.
yeah, that we have to base our, the foundation of love. We have to base it, from God.
Yeah.
That foundation must be from God,
Yes.
because if we depend our loves, or that love we're looking for from other people, human being, what will happen is that human being might die or will leave you. And what will happen to you? You're broken again, you're lost.
Yeah.
There's so much pain, but God's love is eternity. So
Yeah.
there's no end, no beginning. You can really trust that love.
Yeah.
He will never leave you. So that is what I'm also trying to tell your viewers, that love is really amazing. And you
Yes.
can trust that love. Our children, of course, we know that they will love us, but who knows, maybe they will leave us, or yeah, and we will be hurt. But now I know
God
that
won't.
there is God.
Yes.
He's my everything now. And I
Oh.
hope my husband will not be jealous, because
No, but that makes your marriage better too. I mean, that's
yes, exactly.
the beautiful thing about God is exactly what you said, is that he becomes our stability. That is the only way we do have stability. In fact,
Yes.
there's a Bible verse that has helped me through all of my fears and anxieties, because I still have medical issues, so I still get concerned about things. I mean, I'd be a fool if I wasn't. Well, my heart's going kind of crazy right now. Maybe I should take a look at it. I'd be a fool if I didn't do that. I have to take care of myself. But I look at this. I look at the most unstable thing that I can think of, and that's like a stormy sea. The ocean, when it's a storm, it's a scary thing. But I think of that Bible verse where Jesus is sleeping in the boat, and the disciples are all scared. They're terrified that they're gonna die because this storm is so bad. Finally, they're so afraid they wake Jesus up. They didn't want to wake him up, but they had to, because now they're thinking we're gonna die any second. And it took just a couple words from him, peace, be still, and boom, it's just completely calm. It only took that little bit. They didn't die, they didn't drown, nothing happened, everything was fine. But it's that instability stirs up so much inside of us, and we feel like we're drawn in all these different directions. But when we just lay back and put ourselves into God's hands and just put ourselves into his will, whatever, God, if this storm is going to take me, it's going to take me. There's nothing I can do about it. That's just how life is. But if it's your will to get me out of it, I'd like that too. Whatever it is. And to trust that he's going to do what's best for us, even if that means the storm is going to get me this time. Eventually I'm going to die. I know that. I know that I can't live forever. But
We
when
were
the time
all gonna
is,
die.
yeah, we're all going to die.
So just
I
a
know.
matter of time difference.
It's a matter of time. Why do we get so worried about it? It's because we're not ready to let go of the things that we're holding on to here. And the reality is, when I died, I didn't get to have any of these things. None of these things came with me. And it didn't matter, because everything that's waiting on the other side is so much better. And that's what really hurts me when I hear of people that want to commit suicide, or actually do commit suicide, is that often it's these feelings that, sometimes people struggle with them for a long period of time, and sometimes it's just a real quick, sudden thing, and they don't even think about what they're doing, and they just go and do it. There's a lot of reasons people go through this, but that thought process is what's really sad, is that it's like right now I'm feeling this way, but clearly in a minute I could feel a different way. I could feel better, I could feel worse. It could change no matter what. I have to give it that acknowledgement that it could change. Now it's like growing grass. I don't know if you've ever tried to grow grass, but like I've had a problem with a particular part of my yard where my dogs would run on it. So they would wear down the grass, and it was hard to grow grass there because they like to run on it. Well, when you grow grass, you got to water it 3 times a day, and you got to, really take good care of it. And to get it to actually come through, then it's good to go. But
Okay.
I would always give up beforehand. I would be so frustrated, like, okay, it's 5 days and nothing's happened. This is obviously not going to work. Walk away and then come back the next day and there'd be dead grass sitting out, sitting on top of the soil. It's like it was just ready to break through. Something different was going to happen. A change was happening that I couldn't quite see because it was below the soil. But if I would have just stuck with it, doing those little things, boom, it popped up and I would have had grass, and the point is that my day can change. My day today, I wake up and I'll feel really depressed, but I might go to bed tomorrow, get better sleep, eat better. There could be a lot of things that come into play that make my day a little better the next day. And if I'm focused on those negatives, I'm going to miss the positive that was there. And I could have built on.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So going back to the suicide, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about with that? I know that's it's an important topic to you too. And is there anything else you wanted to say to people before we end?
I think for people who are so perfectionist, they are more prone to suicidal, because they're very perfectionist like myself before. And when something doesn't go good, like you give up right away, and because there's a lot of pressure on you, because you're so good, you are popular, like the Hollywood stars, and there's so much pressure and you want to make it good like this. So I think you just have to, it's not important to make others or happy or satisfied others. I think you need to give space, for mistakes.
Yeah.
Because nobody is perfect. That's being human. Nobody's perfect. So give space for mistakes. Not too much mistakes, but at least, and always have a second plan. If this one doesn't work, there is the second plan, and if you like, there's a third. So ABC, like this.
Right.
That is like something I don't know if that could help, because if someone makes mistake, these people who are very perfectionist, they get right away disappointed, and they think they are less, they're not good. So that should not be. We are all human. Only Jesus is perfect, who came to earth.
Right.
So, and I just want to tell them that God is for real, heaven is for real, and miracles happen when you believe.
Yes.
So that is my message, because it happened to me.
Yeah.
And it happened to many people. So there is a purpose for everything, and I don't believe in destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in destiny. Sorry, I believe in destiny. Yeah, we are destined for something.
That's right.
So.
Right. Yeah. And I think you hit it right on the head about perfectionism. I think perfectionism.
I cannot hear you so well. It's raining so hard. Sorry.
It's all right. I think you hit it right on the head with perfectionism. I think perfectionism really does play into a lot of people's thoughts about things.
Yeah.
And the reality is that, we can learn from our mistakes, and, we have to get better with accepting ourselves and forgiving ourselves, and, not being so hard on ourselves, I think is a real key to living life, because you nailed it. We're not perfect, and we're never gonna be.
And be more compassionate to others.
Yes.
And please to all the viewers, if you hear people already stating on their social media that you think this can be, would point out to depression, please call them. No matter how strong this person may be, you know, you cannot see from the inside. Only God can see from the inside.
Right. Yeah.
And some people are very loud with that saying like, you know, I have depression like me. But there are people who seem to be extroverted, but from the inside not, and they cannot just like share it. So
Yeah.
I am not only telling this to the victims, but I mean victims, the people who are suffering from this, but also the people surrounding them.
Yeah.
I'm also addressing this to people surrounding them. Know what are the symptoms or like that, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Especially
because this is a very important issue, and oh, I just wanted to include this boy. I just saw now today, this morning, I had to cry while I was eating breakfast. I don't know, this just pop up on Facebook, and it says like there was a boy called Drake, and I don't know what's his family name because I forgot. I just put Drake here, and he is, I think, born in 2009. So he is like 12 years old, or how old is he now? He committed suicide. He hung himself because he got bullied. And this is very sad because these are children, you know, and social media has a very big impact to that, you know. This is very sad. So parents, please educate your children very, very well. They will follow you, what you're doing, what you're talking, and how you react to people, and what you think of others. And just be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, you know, that your child can pick that up from you and just like hurt someone as well. And that someone can, you know, children are not so strong as the big ones, you know. They
Right.
don't understand these things. And, you know, being now, if nobody wants me, I said, it's your loss, not my loss, you know. But children cannot do that. So we have to protect our kids, and also look what they are, where they're up to, you know, which social media. And they can say, yeah, mom, I am okay.
Right.
Get this personal relationship too with your children, and really sit down and or do just like a mom and daughter day or mom son day, just like, you know.
Yeah. And don't tell yourself that everything's fine and I don't need to check in this. Those are the conversations that we need to have regardless. I mean, too many parents want to have these conversations about safe sex and all these other things with their kids. You know, personally, that's something you should tell your kids about abstinence for. You know, that causes more depression and more harm to children. What we need to do though is have these real conversations about suicide, because the numbers are startling for that age group that for Drake was in. It's the second highest death rate. Oh, it's the second highest death rate. So how is suicide for that age group the second highest death rate? I don't understand that. To me, that is scary. And I don't want to lose my kid to suicide, nor do I want my kid to be responsible for somebody else's suicide because they were bullying them. How traumatic would that be to have to live with that?
Yeah.
As parents, we have to protect our children, but as society, we need to be able to protect each other. This is something that we really should be able to talk about more openly, particularly given how we talk about everything else, but not suicide. I mean, suicide is something that is so out of control right now, and it's going to get worse, I think. And so I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm even sorry.
Oh, I'm just glad people like you are bringing this message.
It's not because not because I have experienced it, but I feel for those children. I feel for the people, and also for the family that are left, you know. So it's good, because when I had that suicidal thoughts, it's not like someone is telling me like, hey, do it. I did not have that. It's just like I was tired of feeling that sadness in me that I could not even put it in a place, I don't know where it comes from.
Right.
You know, when you are sad from about something, okay, sad because somebody died, then at least you know. But that depression, what I'm saying now, that made me think of, you know, suicidal, that was a very strange feeling.
Yeah.
It's so melancholic.
Yep. Melancholic.
Yeah,
Yep.
a very strange, you know, it's good because when I describe, before I could not really, once I started to talk about my anxiety and all those things, I still talk, but I always have like I could feel my bone or every muscles were like making like this, you know, like
Yeah.
moving,
Yeah.
you know. And now I really know that I am healed because I can really just talk, you know, without feeling my bones shaking or like my heart is racing. I
Yeah.
can talk normal.
Yeah. That's
So
and that's a key, isn't it? I think, you know, there's so much to know, you know, even just from our mind, we can tell that there's a freeing, but even in our body, we can tell there's a freeing. You know, everything you're describing is just this relief from the anxiety, just from all the fear. And, you know, depression is a fearful thing, especially when it gets to that level where it, you know, like you said, you can't even describe where it's coming from. It just feels so oppressive that it feels like it's just closing in on you and kind of squeezing you. And, you know, it's a scary thing, but yet when you're freed from it and you have that trust in God, you do feel like it's just gone. Like the clouds have broken up and the sun's coming. Yes,
it's like God made like this, you know, it's like, I'm human again. Yes, it felt like that.
Great.
There was a time that I thought, okay, yeah, I always believe in God, but how come I feel like this? And that's good that I am describing this feeling, because maybe some viewers might feel the same and they cannot. That is from my thing, and that was depression. I know that. And then I was just tired of that, and I just thought, okay, yeah, and you know, it would be good if I will not wake up. And I'm looking at the paracetamol, a lot of paracetamol. I'm just thinking like, maybe, you know, but there was always a feeling saying like, I don't say voice, but it's like saying like, you cannot do that to your children. You have your responsibility. God chose you. From all the mothers, he chose you to be the mother of these children. There is a purpose for that. So Marionette, don't get crazy. So be a mom and put yourself right together. And yeah, it was like that. And that's why it never really went through.
Yeah.
Because that was there, you know, and I know that was God.
Yeah.
I know that was God.
Yeah. He knew what hook to throw to you. He knew what would keep you focused on that. And, you know, and it's like he knows what gifts he has already given us that means something to us. The real relationships that provide fulfillment, not the ones that make us feel depression, but the ones that lift us from it. You know, your children provide so much. Children can be stressful. There's no question about that. But it's also, most of their stress is even kind of a good stress, because it's part of growing in life together, nurturing to it. But when people bully us, that's a completely different type of thing. But God loves to show us, wait a second, this is the thing that's keeping you alive. You know, those protective factors that we have that keep us from committing suicide, those are important to keep in front of us at all times, whether it's our family or, you know, can be even a career. But faith is probably the most important thing. And, you know, any psychotherapist who's worth anything will try to tap into somebody's faith if they're feeling suicidal, because that faith is the one thing that can really pull people from it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's such a unique thing. And, you know, I feel bad for people who have depression and don't have faith. And, you know, it's hard enough for those of us who do have faith to deal with depression. It is tough. No one's trying to say it's not, but I think that's kind of the beauty, is that God gives us those moments on the sea where we get to be afraid. We get to fear that I can't make it. Well, guess what? We can't make it. That storm will crush us, but with God, we can make it. It's him that we can do these things.
In God
By
together.
ourselves, yes, by ourselves, we're not going to be able to do it. I can't stop the storm.
You know what, Brian? I also I just realized, since I have my awakening, that all the things, bad things that happened in my life had to happen.
Yeah.
That was already written on my journey, my life, for me to seek God. Because when everything will be good, it's very easy for us to say, yeah, I believe in God because everything goes good like this. But once you have something, you have an illness, or you lost someone, it's very difficult. It's like, is there God? Where are you? But
Right.
this one, so I take those bad things that happened to me, I take the positive from that positive how to say, aspect. I mean, yeah. That because of that, I search God.
Yeah.
And I found him. I mean, I found him. He's already with us, but I mean,
You found him, right? Yeah, you realize, oh, there he is.
But I think God is also a God like, hey, search for me too. Like, hey, I'm here.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah, you said he's a little bit funny. So it's like, Anet.
Yeah.
And I'm sure.
It's so true, though. It's so true because, it's like, even when you read the Bible, he couldn't perform miracles in his own hometown. People didn't have that faith in him. They didn't trust him. It's and it's that way, I think, because, we know somebody, we grew up and saw, hey, well, that's the carpenter's kid. I know him. I saw him when he was growing up. He can't be the Messiah, but the reality is he didn't perform any miracles there. And yet he had the ability to. So there's something about our participation that is so important with that. We have to have that trust. We have to have faith in him that he's going to do this. And, sometimes he doesn't do it right away because that builds a stronger level of faith. If we're struggling with really bad depression, we might feel like, hey, God's never going to answer me. He's ignoring me. And the reality is he might be needing to give us a little bit more time to develop that full trust, because we really do have to give our whole heart to him.
Yeah.
We have to say, even if you're going to leave me with this depression, I trust that you're going to get me through it. Not that you're going to I only trust that you're going to take it away. That can't be our only option. We have to be willing to accept that if I'm going to have this depression, God's going to help me to get through it. And I'm going to be able to live a life with this depression. Once we can make that choice, that's when the depression leaves us. It no longer has the power over us because it has no strength anymore. And that's really what we have to do, is we have to give the strength to God. Let him make the choices in our lives. I'm going to take my steps every single day, but whether or not I get to the end of my journey is up to God. I gotta just take those steps. He's not going to take those steps for me. So that's
us doing. Yes. Yeah. No, it's just like people who are suicidal and doesn't know God. The only thing I can say is that God, he doesn't requires religion.
Yeah.
For you to invite him, he will not say, you cannot invite me because you're not Catholic, or you don't. But just reach out to God, because he is there, and just it's like having a trust when we are small with our parents. We feel safe when we know our parents are with us. So this God is even more. So you can really trust him with anything, even with the storm. So
that's true.
Thank you so much for this conversation, because I have been wanting to tell my story really very clearly, that many times I forgot words, but I think I have everything that I wanted to say. I was focused also of God's work in my life, and the faith we need to have, that is very important. And then the suicidal, that was very important for me. And I pray that through this interview I can help many people in any way I can, I could.
Yeah.
So
Well, you are amazing. I know you worry about forgetting words or, even with with the language, but you speak like 4 languages, or is it 5?
There are many languages I speak. That's the disadvantage when you know
I don't
so
know.
many languages. So
You're so good at it though. Yeah,
and you speak
I only speak 1. And I know a little bit of Spanish, but I've forgotten most of it. But I only speak 1, and I have enough trouble with that one. You have it mastered. You do such a great job. I think you might be a little harder on yourself than you should be, because I had no problem understanding everything you were saying the whole way through. It was wonderful.
Oh, I think it's also the nerves, knowing that this will, camera, and I don't want to put out wrong message there already. That a little bit of pressure, but that is just like nothing to be serious. And
Yeah.
along the way, I was more confident, and yeah, that's good. And yeah, it's good. I have the feeling God has given me this responsibility to share my story, to touch people's heart, to touch people's lives, and parents and friends of someone who might be suicidal or depressed, and don't always think, oh, she has everything,
I
she's
know.
happy. Don't think like this, because these are exactly the strong people are actually the ones who they want to deny that they're suicidal or they're depressed,
They
because
won't
it's,
ask for
it's
help.
like, yeah. So this could be dangerous, if you don't see the signs anymore. And if you are listening and you feel like the way I felt, please like us get help. I don't know the number there, what is your help, but here it's 112 in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So
That's good. Yeah.
I wanted to write down the number here like this, but then I got caught up with the storm outside and I forgot to.
Well, I'll put a suicide number that we have here in the United States. I'll put that on the
Yes,
description,
please.
and then at least that will be on there too. And is there anything else you want to say before we end?
No, I think I just want to say God is truly amazing.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's all I can say. And
I'll leave it with that, because I agree.
thank you so much, Brian. And I keep you always in my prayers. And thank you so much. This is really, I'm so humbled, so honored, and so blessed to be here. That I can help people.
I'm so happy to have you. I feel the same way about having you here. So it's wonderful. And I think this was a great talk. And I do think it's going to help a lot of people.
It's very deep, I mean, it's not just like the surface, like I had, although I did not go to detail what kind of abuses, but
Right.
like I said, name it, I had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and I think
and some people might because this is the thing, when I had that, people said, it's just that's not so bad. But that is one thing that you should not say to a suicidal person,
that's
because
right.
that person is already struggling a lot about it. Because for that person, not everyone is the same. One is a bit stronger. Okay, I can deal that. But someone like me, I could not deal that. And someone saying to me, oh, that is just that. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because for that person, that is really true.
Yeah.
And the pain is real.
Yep. No, you're so right.
Is also an advice.
No, that's such a good point, because people are sometimes trying to be well-meaning when they say it, but honestly, we can't put ourselves into somebody else's shoes that way, because when I was dying from my heart stuff, people were like, oh, it could be worse. You could have cancer. And then I die, and then I have to go and have a heart transplant. I mean, I don't know how it could be any worse, because you died. I mean, it doesn't get worse. But what it is that people have an idea of, well, I saw something really bad, and that must be the worst it could possibly be. So at least you don't have that. But the reality is that whatever I'm going through is the reality for me. I have to deal with this. And I don't care if somebody's upset about a breakup or they lost their cell phone, you know, if that's causing somebody serious depression, then we have to take it seriously, because that's something that, while we see it being simple to fix, we've got to take some time. We can't simply tell them, well, that's no big deal, hey, get over it. It just
Yeah,
doesn't work that way. No, nobody, if they could do that, they would have already done it.
that's not so nice, you know.
No.
Also with the ages, it's like, oh, why is it so bad? Like Chelsea Chris, you know, people say, yeah, why is she so, you know, with 30 years old, being 30, you know, I might have it when I was 20, like, I'm already 20, you know, and I'm already 20 and I haven't made any education. Can you imagine that? So,
Yeah.
you know, I was also like this, like, oh, I am nobody, you know, Mariana did not go to school well, and Mariana just, you know, and now I don't, no more. I'm not like that anymore. I'm always like, God, I am special. Everyone is special. You might not have an education, Mariana, but your heart is big and God loves you. So that's the most important thing, because God sees you special. It's better God sees you special than the human being, because there's no, it's not valuable, you know, what a human being say to you.
Right. No, that's so true. Because if we don't want to take their insults, we shouldn't really be taking their compliments as such a wonderful thing either. I mean, it's nice to get a compliment, but you know, I want to hear God tell me I'm doing a good job.
Yeah. And for God, we're perfect. He made us in his own likeness. So
Yeah.
that means we are perfect. So we don't even have to think what God thinks about. We are the worst judgment for ourselves. Or did I say that right?
Yes. Yep.
Judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, I'm just maybe too hard on myself, and that is just being my, you know, being a net perfectionist like this. But now it's less now. Before I was extreme. So
you know, one of the most comforting things I've ever heard was that, you know, in comparison to our ugly sinfulness with God's holiness, you know, we really are kind of, you know, disgusting creatures, and yet he still loves us. How comforting is that he loves the part of us that is who we really are, not the external stuff, not all the stuff we try to be. It's us inside. That's who he loves. How comforting is that somebody who knows us perfectly actually loves us, while everybody else who we try to pretend to be something different for, they judge us in all kinds of different ways.
I don't for me, I don't care anymore what people say. God finds me perfect, and I am doing his work. You know, this is not I am blessed because I'm loving my work, because I meet people like you and like Peggy and Jeffrey and Randy, and that's such a blessing, you know. And just the people surrounding me, he took people away from me. Can you imagine that? People who meant the world to me, he took that away, you know. He like closed windows. And then I cried, and then he opened again, like, you know, like that. So it's so nice. He knows what he's doing. It's just us, because we cannot see the future. So just trust, and even if it takes so long, please know that God has a plan for you. It might be your plan, but maybe not God's plan. And don't be disappointed, because God will not disappoint you, because his plan is much better, you know.
Yes, it is.
So don't forget that.
I think that's a perfect place to end it. That actually is perfect thing. I just want to thank you for coming today. I really appreciate this, and I enjoyed it so much.
Yes, thank you so much. I am praying for healing for you, complete healing.
Well, thank you.
If you don't mind, I put it on Facebook, because I was really, you know,
I don't mind.
You have a good place in my heart, everyone that I met on this journey. And I don't want to be sentimental now, but really I can see that you are doing God's work, and please continue to do that, because you are helping so many people. This is really amazing what you're doing. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Annette, and thank you for everything you've done for me too. And everybody will get to see it unveiled, my new intro. Thanks to you. I can't wait to figure out how to get onto YouTube. Once I do, it's going to be on there, and everybody can know that that was your handiwork. I appreciate it.
Yes, I made for Brian this intro, just a gift to a brother, because I think he deserves the best. And could you also please put the name of my channel if people are interested to listen more near-death experience, stories that will inspire you for sure and help you, and so.
Yep, I'm gonna definitely put your channel on there, and because I did it. That's how we met. I did an interview with you, and
yes,
you're so easy to talk to. I loved having an interview with you. It was early in the morning, and I had a good time. It made my whole day wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very sorry because our editing goes so slow, but there is a saying that God say, like, when it's about God, nothing has to be fast,
Right.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, the editing doesn't go so fast, but I am now starting. So I did an editing from a guest in September, like, but I'm very proud because it's my first time. So before that, prior to that, I could only send emails. I don't know anything, not even copy paste.
You got it down now, I'll tell you what, because you definitely have that down.
Oh, thank you. So Brian, thank you so much, and you take care, and give my warm regards to your family, beautiful family.
Oh, thank you, and yours too.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you always. Thank you, Brian.
Bye.
Bye.